Last night, we witnessed a race that's going to go down in history as one of the greatest races in NASCAR history. The race had action, excitement, it had everything throughout the entire race, and of course the epic finish at the end. The closest finish in NASCAR history. Are you kidding me? In this video, I'm going to be giving my honest review on the entire race. So to start off, the racing in general. The talk of the week was aero blocking and how poorly the next-gen car is in dirty air. Many people expected to see that in this race, especially with the digital dash, but what we really saw was side-by-side battling, lap after lap, slide jobs left and right, and different lines being run throughout the race. Ross Chastain and Kyle Larson battled for multiple laps, crossing each other over back and forth, and it was very clean. It was extremely entertaining. Then we saw the same thing with Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson at the end of stage 1, and Ross Chastain creeped into that battle. It reminded me a little of the 2014 package, and throughout the entire race, the leader never really drove away, as second, third, and even as far back as 5th place were a second back and within striking distance. This is the type of racing that will get more fans into the sport as we move forward. The next-gen car has shined at mile and a half since its debut. This might be the only track style where it constantly puts on good racing. I'm all in on cutting back on a second Richmond or Phoenix date in an attempt to give Chicagoland a date and possibly Kentucky. I also think that seeing this style of racing, Charlotte should go back to a second oval date. Kansas and Charlotte are the two best tracks right now for the next-gen car. Atlanta's up there too, but that's just because it's a super speedway now. I really believe that if NASCAR isn't going to drastically change the next-gen package at short tracks, road courses, and stuff like that by upping the horsepower, then they need to double down and bring back some of the cookie-cutter tracks, because this is the racing that people want to see. We don't want to see bumper-to-bumper not being able to pass at short tracks with the shifting and all that. When you come to these tracks here, and you're getting multiple grooves and battles left and right, this was fantastic. I mean, we saw 5 wide down the front straightaway at one point, and I couldn't believe what we were seeing. And another thing that NASCAR needs to do again is bring back night races. I'm happy NASCAR decided to run the race into the night and not delay it till Monday. I think we need more night races in the future. There's just something about the atmosphere of it that makes it awesome. Nashville last year was a night race and it was fun. Atlanta last year was a night race and it was fun. Hell, even when Homestead went into the night for the championship race, it was fun. I really think NASCAR needs to get back to night races. Even if they don't want to do them on Sunday nights because people have work on Monday, run them on Saturday night. There's just something about being under the lights that makes the racing even more awesome. We saw a very clean first 2 stages in this race, and there was really a lack of calamity in them. We had most of the field running in the 3rd stage, and then all hell broke loose once Jimmie Johnson got dumped by Corey LaJoie. Like seriously, what does LaJoie do to stay in that ride? He's getting outrun by rookies in the same equipment. Like, I know Johnson let off the gas, but he still drove through the back of him. Like, Jimmie was actually doing a good job, and it's such a bummer because being a Jimmie Johnson fan in the past, this hurts because this wasn't even his fault. He saw smoke, he let off the gas, Corey LaJoie has no talent, and he ran right through him. And people are going to say, oh, Jimmie Johnson's washed. Yeah, he's washed, but like he can still compete for top 20s and top 15s, and that's important for him to still be running because he is an owner now. He needs to understand what the car does, and that's why he's doing a good job. Then we saw caution after caution, but still not that many cars retired from the race. Somehow Michael McDowell almost got destroyed, but he continued on for a top 10 with damage. I mean, if you look at that wreck, if he gets hooked any further back, he flips. Like, I'm sorry to say it, like that car got up in the air a little bit. And speaking of top 10s, how about me calling Noah Gragson and Austin Dillon for a top 15? But he wrecked 200 yards from the finish line and finished outside the top 20. So I'm a little bit bummed that 2 out of my 3 expectation drivers almost made it. Now let's talk about the finish because I see fans are indifferent about the moves of both drivers. Both drivers were gunning for the win and going 100%. Did Chris Buescher run Kyle Larson up the track? Sort of, but he still gave him a lane. And remember, they're both on 2 tires, so the grip level still isn't there. But does that justify when Kyle Larson door checks him not once, but twice? Depending on who you ask, but that's for a different video coming later this week. I thought the finish was electric, and I loved it. But if the roles were reversed, or if somehow Denny Hamlin was involved, everyone would be calling the door checking dirty. I love bumping and banging finishes. It's just like the old days. Remember Darlington 2003, the closest finish before this one? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That finish was the pinnacle for a NASCAR finish. Elbows up and rubbings racing. I just want to see the consistency and reactions of fans or other drivers when it happens to their favorite driver or to the driver itself. Larson complained when Hamlin ran him wide at Pocono last year for a win, but now he's door checking and he's okay with it. But like I said, another video on that is coming very soon. My weekly rating for this race is a 10 out of 10. Like, that's it. That was one of the greatest races. This may go down as a top 5 race in history. I can't believe how much natural excitement there was throughout the entire race. Even if the late caution doesn't come out, we're about to see an epic fuel mileage finish, but the photo finish just makes this race even better. I can't wait for the Coca-Cola 600 and the rest of the traditional mile and a half throughout this season. This is going to be an exciting season. Atlanta was great, Texas with the Xfinity Series was great, and now this. I mean, this is really putting NASCAR back in mainstream social media. These finishes are being posted on Twitter, SportsCenter. This is really big for the sport. So let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of this race. Did you like it? And I'm not even going to say if you didn't like it. There was nothing to dislike about this race. It had it all. This is the best race in the next-gen car. Atlanta was earlier this year. Now this race is. The 2022 Coca-Cola 600 is also up there, but this race trumps that. And I'll tell you guys what, I was so excited for this finish. I forgot that I had Chris Buescher to win, that I didn't even care that I lost out on $300. I didn't care because the racing was so awesome and the finish was so awesome. This is just something that gets me excited. Even making this video makes me want to go back and rewatch the race again. So like I said, comment down below your favorite moment from the race, the 5-wide pass on the front stretch, the finish, the calamity, the clean racing in the beginning. Let me know. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.